Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Rachel Klein, and I will be your presenter today. Today, we are talking about cleaning up or handling duplicates. All right, let's go ahead and go into Church Windows. I like to start the duplicate cleanup process in the donations module, and specifically in this Manage Givers screen. So this screen is going to go through and it's going to show you in one location everybody that exists in membership. So they will have this MEM in this column, and then everybody that exists in donations. So there's two places that you can put in a record, an individual record. You can do it from the membership module and people, or you can do it over here in donations. Those people who have the DON or the D after their name, these are considered donations groups or donations individuals, okay? So these are donation givers that just exist over in here in the donation side. They don't exist over in membership. So it's an important part when you're starting to find your search of these duplicates to really reference where they were initially put in, because that's where you have to go to make the change to the record itself. So here's the donation and here's the membership. This is how you can tell those records apart, okay? So that's really important. Another important piece I want to show you exists over in membership. In membership, we have a duplicate report that you can run. So as long as their names for the duplicate is spelled exactly the same as the original record or the one you're going to keep, the software is going to be able to go in and find those duplicates. Okay, so up here under reports and export, you're going to go to other, and then there's a duplicate names report. And again, this is only going to find records that first name and last name are identical, and that's how they will show up on this report. So if I go ahead and hit print here, it's going to search through membership, it's going to search through donations, and it's going to find any duplicates that I have in the database. And it just so happens there's one. So this is me, and this is the example that I have set up for us to look at today. So as you can see, the first name and last name, there's one listing because they both have the exact first name and last name. Here's the address of the first record of me. Here's the individual number from the first record of me, which is a D, which tells me one Rachel Klein is a donations giver. And then address 2 here is for the second version of me. This is the address on that record, and then this is the individual number for that duplicate version of me. So you can see one version of me is from donations, one version of me is from membership as a visitor because that number is starting with a 9, okay? So that's how we're really able to gather more information about our duplicates as well. So if you want to just run this report and see what your duplicate situation is, if you're wanting to do some cleanup, you can find this report in membership under other and then duplicate names report. Okay. Now, if you have a specific situation where you know you have a duplicate and you need to just clean it up, that's where you're going to want to start over in donations. All right. So I'm going to scroll down to the K's, and you're going to see real easily, here's one version of Rachel Klein as a D, which we saw on our report. And then here's another version of Rachel Klein from membership with a V, that's a visitor. Okay, you can see there's a giver number 7 on this one and a giver number 36 on the other one from membership. Something else to consider when you're cleaning up duplicates. Check this show inactive box down here, because that one of the duplicates may be inactive as well. And if that's the case, you're going to want to know that for cleaning up purposes, okay? So here's just Rachel Klein with the D, Rachel Klein with the V. I'm not seeing any inactive records here for Rachel. So we're just dealing with two versions of me that we need to fix, okay? Next thing you want to do, you want to figure out of these two records, which one is the one that we want to keep moving forward. The giver number that they have doesn't really matter. Where the giving currently is also doesn't really matter because you can easily transfer those two things from the one we don't want to the one we want to keep moving forward. Also, if you're a pledging church, you want to make sure you look at the pledging information and make sure the pledge is listed on whomever you are going to keep moving forward as well. Okay? So let's go look over in membership at my record over there. So I already have it pulled up. This is just an example. So hopefully when you are looking and researching your records, you're going to want to keep the record that has the most membership information on it. Okay, specifically if they're a member of your church. That being said, or the reason why I believe you should keep the one with the most information filled in is because this information you cannot transfer to another record. Giving can be transferred and the giver number can easily be transferred in just a couple clicks. This information, their birthday, their status code, their attendance history, their email address, their cell phone, all this information you would have to manually re-enter on a different record if you decided to go with a different one. So to me, it is a lot easier to keep the membership record that has the most information filled out on them, okay? Because that's going to be the most time-consuming thing to move somewhere else, all right? Now, with that being said as well, the versions of me, one is in membership and one is in donations. If this is a person who's going to be around regularly, they're a visitor, they're a member, they're giving regularly or attending regularly, I would also recommend keeping the version of them that's in membership. So in this instance, we are going to treat the donations giver version of me, this one, as the duplicate. This is the one we do not want to keep anymore. And this version of me in membership is the good record, if you will, the one we're going to keep moving forward. Okay? So it's pretty easy to tell that the difference between these two records. One is a D, one is a V, and they have different giver numbers. Now, in some cases, if you don't use giver numbers, and if both of the duplicates or both of the records are showing as members in membership, it can be really hard to know which record you're wanting to keep because they're going to look identical. If that's the case, what I would recommend doing is going to the record that you plan on keeping and putting just a simple little asterisk here. So put a little star there after the name, and that is going to carry over into donations, and that's going to show you, okay, this is the good one. This is the one I need to make sure I put everything to, okay? And you just take it off when you're done. It's not permanent. But if we come back into donations now, we look, there's the one with the V. This is the good one. I need to get everything on this one, okay? So we've established which version we want to keep. That's really important. All right, next option. Now we need to talk about the giver number. Do we need to keep a giver number on this? And if you don't use giver numbers, just listen. You don't need to do anything. But if you are using giver numbers, we need to decide of these two giver numbers, what number are we going to keep on the good version of Rachel? Okay, do we want to keep 36 or do we want to move 7 to that one? Doesn't matter which option you choose. Giving is not attached to the person's name. It is attached to the person's name. Excuse me. It is not attached to their number. So changing their number, deleting their number, switching numbers around doesn't affect anything involving the giving. Okay. So I'm going to close out of here and I'm going to go up here to manage numbers. This is the best place to me where you are going to be able to adjust giver numbers. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to look for Rachel. We do have a family version of me. That is completely normal to see a family record and an individual record. These are not a duplicate. As you can see, one says individual, one says family. The address is the same. This is normal to see the family record and the individual. And then we have here the donations giver. So this is the one I'm going to get the number 7 off of, and I'm just going to keep 36 on the good record of Rachel. So all you need to do here is come in here. You can assign an end date if you wish. It's a duplicate. So to me, I just want to delete this history of number 7. Again, this isn't removing any of my giving if there is any on the other record. It's just removing the number. So you click the little minus sign here, and I'm going to choose delete giver number 7, and I'm going to say okay. So now when we're looking at our list, you can see right here, Rachel Klein with the star. This is the good one. This one has number 36. Now, if you decide you need to remove this number and assign a new one, you can. You can put in an end date and then have the new number start the day after the end date, or you can simply delete this and then add a new number up at the top if you want to use a different number. As long as that number is available for your start date, you'll have no problem removing a number and putting in a new one, okay? All right, numbers are figured out. Let's talk about giving. So we need to get any giving or verify if there's any giving off of the duplicate Rachel to the one we want to keep. Really easy to do that. Up at the top, go to Givers and then click on Transfer Donations. This screen is going to allow you, within whatever date range you specify, to move a big chunk of giving transactions all at one time off of one record and onto another. This is helpful for duplicate cleanup. It's also helpful if you have like a junior and a senior and you accidentally put gifts on the wrong one. This is an easy way to go in and just switch giving around, okay? Date range, you can do for the year so far. If you're worried there might be some years past where giving got put on the wrong version of Rachel, you can go back as far as you want here in this first box to make sure you're looking at all of the giving that could be on the wrong record. The reason why you want to move all of the giving off of the duplicate record or the wrong one is because once we get all the transactions off of that one, then we're going to be able to delete the dupe, okay? So I'm going to come here and I've adjusted my date range and I'm going to look for the Rachel Klein without the asterisk because this is the one that we want to get rid of. And then once I select it, it's going to show me all of the giving that is available for me to move within this date range. If you go to look for your duplicate and you can't find it, that tells you there is no giving on that duplicate within the date range that you used. Okay, so if I would have typed the Rachel Klein without the star and nothing came up and they weren't in the search box, that tells me there's no giving to move within the date range. So either nothing to worry about because there's nothing to move, or you need to expand your date range and look back a little bit further. Then I'm going to come over here to this checkbox. It says these two givers are the same person, duplicate records. You must check that box when cleaning up duplicates. If you're not cleaning up a duplicate situation, do not check it. But if you are, you need to check this because what it will do, or the difference that it will make, is when the giving comes off of this one, it's not going to leave or create any reversing transactions. And by avoiding those reversing transactions, it's going to allow you to delete the duplicate. So if you don't check this box and you just hit transfer and we put it over here to the good Rachel, it's going to have reversing transactions. But if we specifically tell the software, no, this is a duplicate situation, I need this just gone from this record, it will not leave any type of history of the donations, which is what we want so we can delete it, okay? So as you can see here, from giver is the duplicate. Yes, I checked this duplicate record situation, and the to giver is the Rachel Klein with the star because this is the one that we want to keep, okay? I'm going to hit transfer. Are you sure? You want to take it away from the donations giver to the visitor, and I'm going to say yes. All right, so now Rachel Klein with a D, everything is completely empty there, and it's all under this one, okay? So let's close out of here. If you, like I said, if you are a pledging church, there is not a transfer feature for pledging. What you would actually have to do, oops, that's not what I want to do. I'm going to go to Pledges by Giver, and I'm going to look for Rachel with the D, and there's some pledging history here. So you're going to have to decide, pretty old pledging history. There's a 12, 13, and a 17. If you want to keep this history, you're going to need to take a screenshot, jot it down, and you're going to need to then remove these and then find Rachel Klein, the good one, and then move those pledging history over to this one, okay? It's up to you. If you're not a pledging church, obviously don't worry about this, but it's up to you. If you want to keep that pledging history intact, you do have to manually remove it off the dupe and put it back in for the one that you want. And I would recommend writing it down or taking a screenshot because I have told myself I will remember and then I don't. So, all right, that's pledging. So at this point in time, we've decided which one we're going to keep. We've figured out our giver number situation. If you don't use giver numbers, obviously don't worry about that. We've moved our giving to the good one that we want to keep. And now we've also checked pledging, right? Once you've done that, and once everything is off of that donations giver, you can then come back into Manage Givers, and you're going to find this one. And we're going to choose this option down here to delete. If you want to make it inactive, you absolutely can. There's no one telling you you have to delete that one. But for the sake of keeping a tidy database, if it's going to allow you to delete that record, I probably would. Okay. Now, as we saw earlier, let me go back in. I missed that. My record with the D did have some pledging on it. So as a safeguard, it's not going to let me delete that one. But just for time and consistency's sake here, I'm going to delete all the pledging off. If this were a real world situation, you would go to the other one and put all those 3 pledgings back in if you wanted. But now that I've deleted it, let's see if it's happy with that. There might be some giving earlier than 2020, but let's see. Yep, there's still donations. All right, well, this is good. Let's go back here to transfer. And we moved everything from, I think we did 2020? I can't remember. But let's just go back to 2000 and let's apply those dates. So we're going back really far. And then let's do, yep, Rachel with the D is still here. So that tells me they're still giving. Oh yeah, there's a bunch here. These 2 givers are the same. We're going to go to Rachel with the star. And let's transfer all of these over. Oh, did I pick? Oh, golly, I picked the wrong person. There we go. And I'm going to hit transfer. All right. Now looks like pretty much everything's off. Let's see if it's happy with that now. So back to Manage Givers. Looking for, golly, Rachel with the D. And let's try delete. Are you sure? This is what you should have gotten. Are you sure you want to delete Rachel Klein with the D? You're going to say yes. So now when we type in Rachel, we just have one giver. All of our giving is on this one. Our giver number's in the right spot. Our pledging, if we moved it, is in the right spot. But now we still have this little asterisk. So to get rid of that, we'll go back to membership, get rid of that star, save it. And then if we go back to donations, you're going to see it looks just like it should. Okay.